Urban legends and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 5 terrifying urban legends that come from the country of Kenya and their strange origins. The Kikuyu of Kenya. Kenya is filled with a number of strange legends and traditions that come from many of the tribes throughout the country. One of the strangest and most terrifying legends comes from that of the Kikuyu tribe that resides on Mount Kenya itself. According to their claims, every human being is endowed with an evil spirit. Upon a person's death, the spirit is left behind to wander the earth in search of completing a goal that had been established in life. The Kikuyu tribe believes that the more important a person is, the stronger their vengeful spirit will become upon the death of said important person. This leads to the tribe working together to perform a complicated ritual at the funeral of any person's death, as well as a far more powerful ritual for the shamans and figureheads upon their death, to prevent their tribes from becoming the victims of attacks from these ghostly figures. Interestingly enough, this has led to a number of strange claims from the tribe that believes, while residing up on Mount Kenya, the ghosts that return will chase down their killers until the killers die or turn themselves in for their crimes. These stories have led to a number of murderers to turn themselves in after encountering terrifying hauntings that they claim were the returned spirits of those wronged during their lives. Oddly enough, even complete tourists have remarked the area to be terribly haunted, with a number of sightings of strange ethereal figures standing in the distances and watching those passing by. The Curse of Elephants. According to many of the tribes all across Kenya, the story told on that of the accounts of elephants is that of a tragic one, as well as that of a foreboding message that any person can be cursed when faced with their own greed. According to the legend, a tribesman many millennia in the past had gone to a tribal god in the hopes of attaining riches and power. When he met with the tribal god, the god then claimed that he would give the man a special gift to allow him to attain his riches and power all throughout the land, but that his wife would be the subject of the gift and that she would suffer. Without flinching, the man agreed and returned back to his home to find that his wife began to grow long and powerful tusks that were seen as incredibly painful and caused her to be forced to lay in bed all day. Once the tusks would grow to full size, the man would remove the tusks to sell them. But such a removal process would bring terrible pain to the woman, of whom would scream and cry for days on end. Eventually, the woman refused to allow the man to remove the tusks and so prevented him from entering the home. Over time, she began to turn grey and grow in size, as the tusks also began to grow larger than her body. Eventually, she grew so big that she burst out of the home, destroying everything the man owned, and emerged as a massive elephant before running out into the wilderness, never to be seen again. This left the man with nothing, as his wife left and gave birth to a litter of new elephants that would spawn the origins of the creature, according to the legend. Today, many still warn that if you have too much greed in your heart, your body will begin to grow and morph into that of an elephant. The Human Eating Tree. Although the legend originally came from that of the combined accounts of multiple encounters recorded on the island of Madagascar, the tale of the human eating tree has spread all across Africa and seems to be a popular urban myth in the country of Kenya. According to the urban legend, there exists a tree that grows in Madagascar and has begun to spread throughout Africa that grows like a massive wild bush that has long thorn vines and will actively pull people into the base of its trunk to devour them over the course of several days. Additionally, according to the human eating tree legends, all of the thorns of the tree are hooked inwards to keep anyone struggling from leaving the thorns, ultimately pulling them in even closer. Although there are a number of plants in the wild with thorns, very little of these thorns are hooked inwards, with most of them pointing outwards to merely prevent animals from eating them and to cause them to stay away. This means that not only are the stories and accounts of this tree continuing to grow, but the gathered evidence of the claims seem to consistently show proof of traits that would only evolve for carnivorous plants and not that of normal evolutionary protection. The Kalenjin of Kenya. Referred to as the Running Tribe, the people of the Kalenjin tribe of Kenya occupy the majority of the Rift Valley in this region and make up an incredibly large population of almost 5 million people living in the area. Researchers are well aware that these tribesmen come from an ancient line of people that originated in the valley and have been living in these ancient homelands since the 2nd millennia BC. It is peculiar in most regards, then, that despite issues where they predominantly reside relative to developments, necessary and healthy diets, physical activity and other environmental factors that can contribute to lack of nourishment, nutrition and standard of living, the Kalenjin tribe of Kenya has such a tremendous advantage compared to the rest of the world in regard to athletic prowess. Since the middle of the 1960s, the residents and population that arose from the Kalenjin tribe of Kenya have won the largest collective share of major honours in international athletics from anywhere of distances between 800-metre dash to that of the marathon, making their tiny tribe the most decorated runners in the world for the categories of track and field. Involvement in competitions became more popular for the tribe from the 1980s, and so on, where at about this time the tribe had received a little more than 40% of the top honours available to men in all international athletics at the categories of track and field. This included competitions such as that of Olympic medals, World Championship medals, World Cross-Country Championship honours and many other international competitions. Given these statistics and advancements, scientists and researchers have been puzzled as to the athletic prowess of the tribe, and further research has shown that there are many factors that could be playing into their overall ability to perform at consistently high levels of endurance and strength over great distances. It is also important to note that it is specifically people from this tribe that have the capability at performing consistently at such a level, as studies have found that others in the region that are not a part of the tribe do not possess the same abilities relative to athletic prowess, leaving many researchers struggling to understand how such a people could develop in such a specific and incredible way. The splitting of an entire continent. For reasons not entirely understood by researchers in the area, back in 2018, a strange event occurred on the 19th of March in Kenya's Great Rift Valley. It seems that shortly after, there was a heavy rain in the area, of which caused a large amount of sediment and stress to release from the walls of the canyon. A small earthquake had occurred that had lasted much longer than the average tremor expected in the region. This release of tectonic stress caused a rift to manifest across the valley, which stretched over several miles long and was over 50 feet wide in most places. This entire rift formed and cracked within only a few minutes of the earthquake and seemed as if to be an extreme change in the landscape in only a short amount of time. Experts have been arguing as to what could have caused the rift, whether or not it was an underground aquifer filling up and leading to additional stresses to the rocks and sediment underneath, or that the earthquake was the main cause of the splitting of the rift. Some experts have argued that the rift was caused by both of these events occurring at the same time, and that, additionally, stress is added due to the area sitting atop two different tectonic plates, the Nubian plate and the Somali plate. These plates have been shifting and sliding for a while, but it appears that underneath the Earth's crust, the mantle has become incredibly more active in recent times, and that this force is pulling the plate apart and opening up rifts in the surface. It was originally believed that these rifts wouldn't continue to form for another 10 million years, but it appears that these added stresses are orders of magnitude larger than scientists have previously speculated. Currently, there appears to be no consensus on the matter, although scientists have come to an agreement that over the next few years, the area should be at the center of a tremendous amount of tectonic stress being released through earthquakes. This has led many natives to begin retelling many of the old legends in which tribes had prophesied that a new ocean would form in Africa, proving to bring economic prosperity and fertile lands to the area. But what do you all think of these strange and unexplainable urban legends found all across the country of Kenya? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to share your answers and questions about the video to help grow our community and share insightful comments about the nature of these topics. Hopefully, as we continue to grow our community, we will one day be able to solve these unexplainable mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.